Hey folks, Jason here. Wanted to make a quick video on the bait tank that I made a while back. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube, got a lot of great suggestions, and kind of wanted to show y'all what I did. First of all, I think it's helpful to explain the problem that I had was the boat I have is a little bit small. The bait tank that I was using, which is this blue one up here, is a good bait tank, but it was a little large. And it also, you can't sit on it. And with this small boat, you kind of need places for people to sit. I also wanted something that would hold at least 10 to 12 gallons of water, and so I could hold a decent amount of bait. So I'll reset the camera here in just a second, and I'll show you what I did. So what I've got here is one of those Igloo Ice Cube coolers. You can pick them up at Walmart, Amazon, wherever like that. It's got the handle in the back. It came with wheels, but I pried those wheels off because I needed the space for my tube to run right here. And so it works quite nicely. Got where the drain hole was for the cooler was actually a perfect spot for the Tsunami pump. I did have to take a step drill bit and enlarge the hole a little bit so it would fit nice and snug. I do just have a gasket in here. Nothing's sealed permanent so that I can take everything apart and clean it if I need to. I've got my wires come up here. This is shrink wrap. I just haven't shrunk it yet. I've got also wires going to a light, a little blue LED light that I've got inside. I've got everything wired here to just a cigarette lighter plug that I can plug into my boat. I didn't put a switch on it. I didn't really think I would need to. I may change that later, but for now it works fine without that. So I'll show you the inside here. So you can see the light is right here. Down here is where the pump comes through, and again you can see the gasket there. This piece is just a 90 with a little that goes down to a 1/2 inch piece of pipe that I've cut off. I've got it wrapped with just a little bit of thread tape. I'll show you why in a minute. So I'll go ahead and screw that on. Sorry you can't see that. So again, all I've done is just screw that on just like that. And this here is my filter. And so what I do, let me come over here. I've got a bunch of this just kind of filter, aquarium filter kind of stuff. And this is just tubing. Again, use my step bit to drill a hole here. I've got a little, this just fits in there and comes up. All I really do is take my filter material, kind of arrange it in so, no real fashion, just get it in there, make sure it's covering the tube. And that's my filter. So that actually just comes in here. I've got it to where I can just kind of snap it in like that. And that's pretty much it. So I'll set the camera back up, fill it up, and kind of show you a couple of tricks that I've learned when using these kinds of pumps. So I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, so I have placed it on the ground and filled it up with water. You can see the light here. You can also see the little Tupperware filter I made down there. Again, it's just Tupperware with holes drilled in it all around the sides. I didn't do the bottom. I'll show you why in a little bit. So I'll just plug it in and we'll show you how it works. All right, so you see the blue light's lit, but you're probably saying to yourself, well, Jason, bless your heart, don't you know you have to prime these pumps? And I kind of learned this the hard way. When I first did this, I would actually reach down in there and get my hands all wet. So I've got another way to do that, and I'll show you how to do that. First, I'm going to unplug it up here. Walk around this way. And what you can do, so you see this return line. Let's get my camera straight. right here. So it's got these little clamps on it, and they're actually really easy to take off. You just kind of twist it a little bit and it drops down. And then what I do is I just pull it off, and then you can actually just kind of blow on it a few times. The water come out. And that gets all the air out, primes your pump. So now, open it back up and plug it in again. So again, you can see the light's got kind of a bluish color now, but I'm real pleased. Of course, this is one of those things that you can adjust back and forth. I have used this probably a half a dozen times so far this winter. Okay, so it's the end of the day. You're all out of bait. It's time to go home. But you've got all this water in here in this heavy container. You can't really lift it and, you know, dump it over the side of the boat. So I'll show you what I've rigged up to take care of that problem. So hang on a second, let me cut this off. All right, so what I've got here is just a little piece of hose. And then on the end here, it's not pretty, but it's just a little coupling for that black pipe, and I've got a hose clamp on it, and I covered it with electrical tape here. I didn't like the sharp edges. So if you also noticed, I put a little swim noodle on here. I did that because, you know, with this hanging over the edge sometimes and you unhooking it and getting around, I have had these fall off and sink. With this on here, you don't have to worry about it sinking. Let me turn this thing back around. Once again to this tube. So again, I'll just take the clamp, drop it down, getting your camera angle there. And then I just pull this off. Gonna drip a little bit, no worries. And that actually just fits nice and snug in there. Got a little tank here. I'm just gonna put the other end of the hose here and go turn it on. All right, so as you can come over here and see, it's just, you know, hang that over the side of your boat and it drains out. So I'll let this drain out, and I'll come back and show you what I do kind of towards the end. All right, so I usually just let it run all the way down until I hear it sucking air. We should start to hear that here in just a second. Just about there. There we go. So I'll unplug it. And I'll snap my little filter out, which again is just a Tupperware container. I've drilled holes in the top and in the side, but again, not in the bottom. And it's kind of, as you can see, it doesn't drip out. And if it's cold weather, I don't like to get it all over my hands, get my hands cold. But at this point, I can just kind of turn it a little bit, let it drain, reach down, pry the lid off, take my filter material out, you know, clean it, dry it out, and really once I dump this little bit out here at the bottom, which is not heavy at that point, then I'm pretty much ready to go again. So that's my bait tank. Hope this has been you know, educational. I hope you learned something. I've learned quite a bit with all the videos that I've watched. I'd love to hear any comments you might have, suggestions. So thanks for watching.